I only have 30 minutes to speak. No more nor less before I have to go out of the plant. So here's the thing. We live in a very sick society, okay? Sick as in we have these very narrow standards of beauty, very narrow standards of everything that happens around here. But I think honestly, like, this is just my own personal thoughts. I think the world is sick, and the conditions that we face, unless they're actually debilitating, like that's an actual condition, but the ones that are like, oh, you don't focus enough, oh, you can't do this without whatever, and I'm like, I feel like conditions just show us a different way to present the world other than the one that we know now, because school is a very narrow path, right? Like you either get it or you don't, and for the people who usually don't, they have to struggle a lot more. But that doesn't mean I don't think they're any less smarter. Like there are people who exist, right, who are very much book smart, but like they're unbelievably dumb when it comes to street smarts. And sometimes it's like depending on what you want to do, what you know could be very beneficial, and then what you could learn in school could be helpful. But if you're like me and you grew up in the public school system, right? What the fuck are they even teaching? Because they don't teach the finances. They don't teach like, and if they do, they have them. Usually have them as elective, and by then you're probably too bogged down to even focus on such things because it's like there's no point in focusing because you're so tired, like you're trying to finish all your other homework and trying to get ahead on things. And like when I was 18 years old, right, I just thought it was like really like the straightforward path. It was the go to college, go find a good job, and you had to go to an essential, like a very good college. To me, I just went to a state college. You don't need to go to a great college. You just need to go to a college that has connections. And usually that's in the big colleges, or if you're finding a very specific niche that could be in a small college. But a lot of people don't even know what they want, which is why they usually go bigger. And I'm like, honestly thinking about it, I'm like, do we even need to know what we want? Like, do we even need to know what's going on? Because I don't even think at any point in stage in life we know what the fuck is going on with our lives because it's so confusing. Like, we're always changing and evolving. So it's hard to adapt to a person who's constantly changing because you don't even know what you'll want tomorrow. You don't even know how tomorrow will be like. There's someone more in the line. What the fuck? Anyways, we live in a very sick society. Also, another thing I want to talk about is pop culture. Okay? The tabloids used to be the ones who would bully the people, but now it's the fans. It's the 15-year-old fans who don't know any better because cyberbullying is the thing, and it's in the form of jokes like, we don't actually even care, or it's not that deep, or this girl is way too she can't sing, she can't dance, she can't do nothing. And I'm like, you know what? Instead of making comments like that, why don't you either A, make comments towards the company to do better, or B, shut your bitch ass up? Because honestly, you making those, I know you're trying to complain, but you're not complaining to the right people. You're not going after the right people, right? The people who are actually perpetrating these things. And it's so easy to make fun of somebody when they're literally like facing right in front of you. Like, that's why they always say they're going to shoot the messenger, not like the actual, because they always assume that the messenger believes it, and it's like whether they believe it or not, they're not the one who is insinuating it. So why are you going after the messenger? Going after the messenger is only going to cure your anger, but it's not going to cure the it's only going to no, I'm not going to say that. It's going to alleviate your anger, but it's not going to cure it, you know? It's like a cancer, and you have to go through rounds of chemotherapy, although I think there is actually a cure for cancer, but we digress. So I think depending, like, it's so I think this has always been the thing since the beginning of time, but like truthfully, I don't think we're meant to be in these things. Also, I don't even think we should have another Michael Jackson. Nope. I don't think we should have another Michael Jackson. That man was great at what he did. He was great, but he was literally great because he was literally built like a machine to entertain the masses. He was tired by the end of it, okay? I heard he didn't even like touring. I heard he didn't even like a lot of things. He just wanted to be a kid. And I was like, honestly, there are so many people out there who are like, you're an adult, you're a woman, you have to do these. And I'm like, we lose the whimsy. Like a friend of mine was like, I'm like, I'm a girl, yeah, but I'm a woman. I'm like a full grown woman, and I'm like, I don't feel like a full grown woman. I live at my parents' house. And I was just like, I don't know why, but I feel so offended by that. Because I'm like, you know what? With taking out like the patriarchal masks of what girlhood is, just focusing on the woman itself, like the person you are as a girl, because technically you are still a girl. Like there's something whimsical about being a girl, and it's like, why do you have to be an adult and lose that whimsy? You know what I mean? Why do we have to lose the whimsical? Also, why are we so obsessed with growing up? Like, you know what? Like, honestly, like, growing up is honestly just rediscovering the things that you wanted to do when you were a kid, but now you have the funds to do so. And I think that's what it should be. I think the way that we think about society and heteronormativity and racism and all those things, like, I feel like there are different perspectives to life, but we don't actually get to see those because either they're like shunned down or the people who choose to live those lives live very privately. And you have to go, it's up to you to go and find it. And I'm like, I don't even know the first place to start, but I want to go and learn and like see what's out there. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm like, I have student debt and stuff like that, so I can't even do that anymore. Not right now, at least. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it because I'm even questioning whether I want to live a very like straightforward path in life where it's like, oh, I finished college. Next step is to probably get in a relationship and get married. A lot of my friends are kind of in that stage where they have like long term relationships. And I'm like, I could care less. And, you know, there's things about it that like I don't want to get into pertaining to that. But I'm just like, the basis of it right now is that I don't care about getting into a relationship. Okay. I live in suburbia. So seeing all these people I used to go to school with being like married, having long-term relationships, I don't know why, but I'm like, I don't even feel like I'm at that stage yet. I don't feel like I've grown to that stage yet. Like, I don't think I have any like arrested development, but like staying at home definitely does something to you where you're like, you feel like you revert back to your old self. And I'm like, of course I want to go and live my life. Like, I had my own spaces when I was in college, and I was able to be my own person. I was different than the person I am at home, but like I can't do that right now because I just don't have the financial means to. So I feel like I've kind of reverted back to a self that I don't want to be. But you know, with the economic and political state of the world, what the fuck can a girl do? You know what I mean? So as a result, you know, I'm like, wow, like, dang, like I think we'll eventually get to a path that like we're comfortable with, and we'll see some progress. I'm just hoping and praying and trusting and you know, but like it is hard sometimes to keep that hope. I'm keeping that hope alive, but I can't lie, it's hard sometimes. So what was I even talking about? I think I was talking about pop culture. Oh, Michael Jackson. That's where I started. That's where, yeah. I don't want there to be another pop star like that. I, I mean, do I agree with like the relatable pop star? Not really. No. I'm like, you're a pop star. You have money. Go be a money. But like, you know what it is? The music industry thrives on generalizations. The whole entertainment industry thrives on generalizations. And right now we are in an economic system where we are thriving on nostalgia that we used to have in the 2000s, like new things, but now with like everything, right? We're having so many reboots and so many other things that are happening that like we can't rely on new ideas, which I think that builds, you know, the opportunity for somebody who wants to make a new idea and is happy to risk that to make a new idea to be the breakout star because you need to be, we don't need to be, but you should be somewhere of yourself. And I feel like everybody has like a different self to present that is perhaps different from the norm. It goes against the grain of things, you know? So I think we'll see something like that coming up pretty soon. Maybe this summer, maybe next year. I don't know. But I think we're going to see somebody who comes out against the grain and they're going to become popular and people are going to be like, this is a fresh breath of air. Like, you know what I mean? Um, and we're already seeing that too, but they're just not being recognized quite yet. They'll be recognized maybe in the next year or two, but not yet. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, being a superstar requires you to literally give up your entire life so that you can entertain the masses and you have the glitz and the glam and everything, but you don't have a shred of yourself unless you have a support system that allows you to be a shred of yourself, which I think is very, very rare in most instances. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. That's another thing. Um, there's always this like constant need for control in society, like control and that control comes in labels and labels and actions and forms. I don't know how to say it, but this is becoming like a little bit philosophical, I guess, in a sense. Where it's like we always just need this constant need for control, but like I don't know. Anyways, I'm done. Bye.